From humble beginnings with a desire to serve the Dudley community, Bank of Dudley has grown to 5 locations, serving Lawrence, Twiggs, and surrounding counties. Serving our community since 1905, the Bank of Dudley is looking forward to its second century of community banking. Drop in today to any of our 5 locations: Jeffersonville, Dudley, East Dublin, Veterans Boulevard, and downtown Dublin. Bank of Dudley, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Welcome everybody. We're out here today. I'm with Sergeant Scott of the Dublin Police Department. Sergeant, we are standing here at the intersection of Walkderry Road, and this is a relatively new 4-way stop, isn't it?
Yes, sir. This stop was put in the made 4-way intersection on April the 24th of this year, and so far it has reduced our traffic collisions in this area so far.
So far, that sounds good, because this has been a tough intersection.
Yes, it has been a tough intersection. We had, if I'm not mistaken, we had 2 fatalities in 2018 in this intersection. And so far this year, we haven't had any, and we're hoping this is going to alleviate that problem.
Well, it's long overdue, not only for law enforcement, but for us citizens, because we all know, and you're looking back down this curve. This is a pretty sharp curve coming from Highway 80. When you turn at that red light there at Golden Corral and you come around this curve, visibility's not that good, is it?
No, sir, it is not. It is not good at all. And the speed limit being 35 coming around that curve right there, and this intersection tends to jump up on you if you're not paying attention.
Okay, you're actually a heat officer, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, explain to people when they see these heat cars, why are they different than most cars?
We are contracted more or less through the Governor's Office of Highway Safety through a grant, and our main function is to end aggressive driving, educate the public on seatbelt use, distracted driving, impaired driving. That is our main function with the police department. We do write the tickets to kind of counteract the behaviors of the motoring public.
Right. Now, we got a new law this past year, and it has to do with cell phones. Fortunately, I'm glad I drive a car with Bluetooth. I can just talk to it and tell it what to do and don't have to bother with a telephone. Well, a lot of people's had to regroup on that situation. Are we seeing better behavior on cell phones?
Honestly, no, we are not.
My goodness.
I don't understand if it's just that I'm not going to do it, this is the way I've been doing it, or they just don't see the dangers in it. But when we do our distracted driving details, especially downtown, our main focus is distracted driving, and we're writing numerous tickets for people even having their cell phones in their hands, talking on their cell phones. We're trying our best to
save lives.
As well as educate, but we need their cooperation too.
So I'm hearing discouragement in your voice when you started talking about that, because the Dublin Police Department is trying to help us live, because, you know, distracted driving, if you look down, I just saw the numbers recently, if you look down and say a text on your telephone, it usually takes about 3 or 4 seconds.
Correct.
To look at that text on that phone. And if you're traveling 55 miles an hour, you just travel the length of a football field.
That's correct.
Now, let's think about that for a second, y'all. If you're listen to us right here now. If I told you to get in your car, we're gonna get off 55 mile an hour, and I want you to close your eyes for 4 seconds. They probably ain't none of us will close our eyes running 55 mile an hour. But that's what we're doing, aren't we?
Basically, you're taking your eyes off the road, and your reaction time is going down dramatically just by opening that cell phone or looking down at that cell phone, much less trying to send a text and reply to a text. So it's overwhelming, actually. I just don't understand why anybody would do that when you know good and well you're not going to drive blindfolded for 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah. Now, what are people saying when y'all stop them and you get them for distracted driving? What kind of excuses are you hearing?
Most of the time it's, I didn't know about it, I didn't know I couldn't do that. But a lot of times they know they're in the wrong, and you're right, you got me.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all hear what we're saying here? You have no excuse from this moment on. You cannot drive down the road and use a telephone. You can't drive down the road and text. And I'm just going to be honest with you watching us here and standing here with the police department. Years ago, I'll have to say, when I didn't know any better, I would write down messages on the phone. I'd talk on the phone. I'd text and try to drive. Well, the older I've gotten, I guess the more I want to live.
Exactly.
And I've lived to the day, if you call me when I'm going down the road, I'm going to tell you, wait just a second, let me pull over and I'm going to write this down. That's what we need to do instead of driving down the road and being distracted by numerous things.
You can't even hold your cell phone. You can't cradle your cell phone. You can't lay your cell phone in your lap. It has to be out of your reach in order for you to be driving down the road safely.
Right.
And that's what the law says. You cannot. I pulled a gentleman over not too long ago. He had his cell phone in his lap. Well, I'm listening to my music. I understand what you're doing, but you can't do that.
Right. It's against the law.
Yes, sir. It's against the law. And not only is it distracting you, flipping through your music, not even texting, but flipping through your music or trying to find a number. We don't live in the safest motor in public, you know. Yeah. So it's not just you're going to pay attention, but you got to pay attention to everybody else too.
Yeah. It's against the law. It's against the law. You cannot hold your phone in your lap. You cannot use your phone driving down the road. Y'all stay with us. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
So what makes OFTC a top choice for college? Here's why. You get hands-on training, and OFTC instructors have years of industry experience. You see, when you have access to that kind of knowledge, it makes a difference. And with financial aid, grants, and scholarships, OFTC is affordable. You can step into your new career debt-free. Think differently about college and make Coney Fall Line Technical College your top choice. Registration begins May 1st and classes start May 16th. OFTC is an equal opportunity institution.
Seatbelts. Are you pulling a lot of people over for not wearing their seatbelts?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we ought to know better by now. That law's been in effect for
July of 2000.
Okay, a long time. Whenever.
It's been
15,
a while.
20 years,
Yeah.
I don't know. So is it that we as the public just don't care? I mean, we got to be blunt here. We're trying to save lives.
I've had every excuse from the seatbelt will hurt me worse than it would save me to I've never worn it and I'm not going to wear it, or I've had a family member that wore it and got hurt, or if I actually get in a collision and get into a body of water such as a pond or a lake, then I'm not going to be able to get out. I'm going to drown. And I've heard them all. But the fact of the matter is, a seatbelt's going to save your life more than it is going to hurt you.
Amen. Seatbelts, it's a proven fact. Seatbelts save lives. There's no doubt about it. So we're out here today. If you just joined us, we're here at the intersection of Walk Dairy Road, where we have a relatively new four-way stop. Now, I know y'all monitoring this four-way stop. We're parked over here beside the road now, and there's two police vehicles here monitoring it right now because we're out here filming. But are y'all monitoring this four-way stop?
Yes, sir. We monitor it every day for the first week that it was coming to effect, and we monitor it periodically throughout the day as of right now.
Okay, what are you seeing?
Well, like right now, see, that is not a stop, okay? When you come to a stop, it's a total cessation of movement. All right, when you see people come up there, they'll bump their brakes and then they'll ease on, that's not a stop.
Let's clarify what a stop is. Be real precise for me. When you pull up to that stop sign, what needs to take place?
Your movement needs to completely stop. It is exactly what it is, stop. It's not slow down, it's not yield, it is stop. You have to completely stop moving. The wheels stop turning on that car.
Okay, so, but to be safe now, let's be real here. When you come up to a stop sign, especially as I've gotten older, I'm more conscientious, but when I come to that stop sign, we need to stop, look to the left, look to the right, and then I'm telling you, I look back to the left again and look back to the right one more time just to make sure in my mind that I see what I thought I saw.
Because like you said earlier, coming from Highway 80, that curve will jump up on you And it's not, the sight distance is not great there at all. So if you're coming up Walk Dairy and you stop, you might look right and that car might not be there, okay? But then you look left and you proceed, that car's right on top of you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt to sit there and look twice, look 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, because this curve that we're talking about, if you're, let's say you're coming from Walmart, that area, and you turn right onto Industrial Boulevard, and you're only a few hundred yards to this 4-way stop, but if you get up a little speed, you know, most people gonna get up real quick, 45, 50.
Yes,
what's the speed limit there?
It's 35.
Okay, so 35, but most people is gonna get up faster than 35. Let's just, you know, be honest about it. But if you get up 35, 40, 45 mile an hour, you pretty well getting it. So if you look to the left, you look to the right, nothing's coming. You look to the left, and then you move on through the stop sign. That car moving at that rate of speed is already on you.
Exactly. So that it doesn't hurt to stop, take a brief pause, look left, look right, look back to your left, look back to your right. That way, just to make sure that nothing's coming, and what you saw the first time is still not there when you look the second time.
Okay, car seats. Okay, let's talk about car seats. Are people, now I've seen lately in police beat in the paper, talking to the sheriff department with the police department, I'm hearing that people are not putting their car seats in properly. What about car seats?
I'm gonna be frank with you. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. The ones that care will seek out help if they don't know. So they are seeking, they're seeking us out. They're seeking the Georgia State Patrol out, the sheriff's office, the ones that are car seat certified. Even if I'm not mistaken, the Department of Human DFACS has car fit or car seat technicians available. Now, if they have questions, by all means, call us. We'd be more than happy to show them how to put it in, put it in for them, and then let them put it in. Right. But the ones that care, yeah, absolutely. They're trying their best to get them car seats in the correct way. Right. Now, the ones that don't, it is what it is. I mean, they're careless.
Okay. Well, you just said it, though. If they want to make sure that that car seat's in right, all they got to do is run by the police department there on the south side, go by out here, Georgia State Patrol, pull through the sheriff department. There's somebody there all the time, pretty well.
Yes, sir.
You know, most all the time somebody's there. So what you're telling me, that's all they have to do, and y'all will show them how.
Absolutely. Even DFACS has, if I'm not mistaken, I know they used to. I don't know if they still do.
They do.
They have car seat technicians that'll be. We're more than happy to show them how to do it, because we want their child just as safe as it was our child. Amen. Because, I mean, working a wreck with a child involved, I mean, it changes you. It takes a little bit out of you each time you do it. So, if I can prevent that, absolutely, by all means. I mean, I've even given people my card. If they need help, call me. Even when I'm off, I went over there to their house or a friend's house to show them how to put their car seat in. Yeah, we're available just about any time.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about our local law enforcement. Sheriff Department, State Patrol, Dublin Police Department, East Dublin Police Department. I was with Chief Lukey this morning. Same thing from Chief Lukey. All you got to do is ask for help. That's all you got to do is ask for help. If you're not sure of the laws, stop and ask a police officer. Of course, if you're watching us today, you already know. We already told you. You know about phones. You know about distracted driving. You know about this 4-way stop we're here. And you know about car seats. So we pretty well touched on all that. And let me tell you, we're here at this intersection, and the police department's monitoring this. Come to a stop. Y'all stay with us. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Or Insurance in Dublin is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Sergeant Scott, before we go, I just want one more time for you to explain to us what a complete stop is.
Complete stop is a total cessation of movement. That means you are at a dead stop. You're not still rolling, you are stopped. The wheels are no longer turning on that vehicle. That is a stop.
Okay, explain to me, Sergeant. If 4 cars pull up and basically pretty well simultaneously, and it happens, pull up at the same time, how do we know what to do?
You yield to the right of way to your right hand side. I mean, somebody eventually is going to have to make a decision. Like if you have two cars that are going the opposite direction, but they're not turning, they're going straight. Of course, them two cars can go simultaneously. They can go at the same time. And then you can work off of that. But you must, 99% of the time, you're going to yield to the right, the person to the right of you. If a car comes up, he has to stop. Is it really that important to you to beat the car to the right of you, you to beat the car to the left of you? I mean, not to me, it's not.
Yeah.
So just stop, make sure it's clear, make sure everybody sees you in the intersection and you're proceeding in the intersection and go. Just slow down and not be in such a hurry.
Appreciate you coming out here today. I know y'all are busy, but just the fact that you took the time to come out here and talk with us for something this important. And
yes, sir.
It's very important to us at the TV station. I know it's important to y'all. We want to thank our local law enforcement for what all of you do to serve us and protect us every day. And listen, folks, if you're watching us and you're not in law enforcement, if you are, we appreciate what you do for our community. If you're not, let's do what we're told. Let's do what we're told. And I tell people all the time, if I leave here in just a minute and I get pulled over, Sergeant, and y'all tell me to lay on the pavement, knowing I hadn't done anything wrong, what we need to understand is get out and do what you're told, lay on the pavement. And I know I'm talking about extremes here, but lay on that pavement, because I tell people, you may be looking for a car just like mine that's done something, an armed robbery, robbed a bank, did anything. So the quicker we do what we're asked to do, the quicker we're going to be on our way, aren't we?
That's right. And like say, for instance, like you said, that we're just looking for a car that matches the one that you're driving. The quicker we can move on, alleviate that car is not the one we're looking for, and move on to
and find the real
trying to
person.
find the real person.
Yeah.
Correct.
So let's do what we're told, y'all. Let's help law enforcement. Let's go by the instructions they give us. And the last thing I want to make sure we understand, if we get pulled over, what should we do?
When myself or any law enforcement officer pulls you or is attempting to pull you over, first of all, find a safe place to pull over, okay? Because we don't want y'all we don't want the motoring public any additional risk than already is. And the second of all, do not get out of the car.
Right.
Don't let us come to you. Mm-hmm. Don't get out of the car and walk back. Most of the time, people don't know.
That's right.
But don't get out of the car. Let us come to you, and then we'll introduce ourselves, and we'll tell you why we pulled you over.
Right.
Okay? But on the side of the road, that's not the place to argue your case.
That's right.
That's why we give court dates. Okay? We're not going to argue on the side of the road. We're not going to have a confrontation on the side of the road.
That's right.
We're going to do our job as professional and to the best of our capabilities, and we're going to go on about our business.
Yeah. And we can do the same.
Yes, sir.
Take it. If you don't agree with it, go to court, and that's the time to argue it. So you heard them. Pull over to a safe place. I saw a car the other day, a blue light come on, Dublin Police Department on the river bridge. I was behind the police car, and the car did exactly what you said. They went ahead and crossed the bridge and pulled over into a parking lot, and I was watching them. I said, now that's what you're supposed to do right there.
Yes,
Go
sir.
on, don't stop on that bridge because traffic's everywhere.
Exactly.
And that car did exactly what you just explained. So, Sergeant, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Y'all stay with us. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, I'm Brad Grimes with the City of Dublin Natural Gas Department. How to recognize a natural gas leak. Look, some of the signs of a gas leak include seeing bubbling water, or dead or discolored vegetation in otherwise green area, or disturbed soil, or a dense mist above the pipeline. Listen, a hissing sound that is near gas lines, appliances, or meters that could indicate a leak.
Hello, I'm Eric Cates, Field Supervisor with the City of Dublin Natural Gas Department. How to recognize a natural gas leak. Smell. The distinctive odor of rotten eggs. Natural gas is an efficient, safe, colorless, and odorless gas. For easy detection, we add a harmless chemical to give gas a distinctive odor. Most people describe the smell as rotten eggs or hydrogen sulfide-like odor. Leave. Don't delay. Get away. Leave the area immediately and move to a safe distance away from the potential leak. Avoid using any sources of ignition such as cell phones, cigarettes, matches, flashlights, electronic devices, motorized vehicles, light switches, or landlines, as natural gas can ignite from a spark or open flame, possibly causing a fire or explosion. Natural gas is non-toxic, lighter than air, and displaces oxygen. In severe cases, if not used properly, natural gas can also lead to asphyxiation. Do not try to identify the source or to stop the leak yourself.
If you think you have a gas leak, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Call us at 478-277-5048.
Welcome back, everybody. Now I have with me our engineer with the City of Dublin, Matthew Bradshaw. I was talking to Sergeant Scott a minute ago about this four-way stop here at Walt Dairy. And what surprised me is we were sitting here with 2 police cars and people still wasn't stopping at this four-way stop. So we've got to get in the habit, and you and I are all over town all the time. We see, and we're not police officers, we're in private vehicles, and we still see how people are getting in a hurry and that's really, I think, one of the biggest things.
And distracted.
Yeah,
they're in a hurry and distracted.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what went into this. Why did we put a four-way stop here?
The main reason is it was a response to the crashes that we were seeing. Obviously, we didn't do it just to aggravate the motoring public by any means, and we hope this is just a temporary solution. But what we saw was a lot of people were stopping on Walt Dairy. They weren't just blowing through the stop sign. That wasn't the issue. The issue was they were coming to a complete stop, but they were pulling out in front of people on industrial. And it's not just the fault of the people pulling out in front, but we also had drivers on industrial who were going way too fast, not obeying the speed limit. So the first thing we did, several months ago, was we put up the flashers that you see on both ends to warn drivers that there was an intersection approaching and they need to slow down. And it really curved the wrecks, but we felt like we needed to do this just to seal the deal so we wouldn't have any more wrecks here. And what we found, we looked at an accident history out here, a crash history, and we found that 6 out of the 10 wrecks that happened would have been prevented with a four-way stop that everybody obeyed. Obviously, it only works if it's obeyed, but we couldn't not do anything at that point when we saw the numbers.
Yeah. So how long do you study an intersection like this?
Typically, we do a 24-hour traffic count on the intersection and see how many vehicles are approaching from Walt Dairy and how many vehicles are on industrial. And we usually try to do those on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, because your Monday and Friday traffic, as everybody knows in Dublin, your Friday traffic is totally different than a Tuesday traffic around here, and also on the weekend. And we look at that over a 24-hour period and see how many cars are coming in all the directions, and then we also look at the crash history like I talked about.
Okay, I know about Springdale, you're going to put a light there, but what other intersections are dangerous intersections that you're looking at right now?
Well, GDOT actually puts out a list of local intersections and those on state routes based on severity rating, which takes into account the crashes that happen there. And one that's on our mind right now, that's a part of a project that's coming up, that's the Stubbs Park project. We're going to be closing Calhoun Street and rerouting some traffic there. We're going to be taking down the signal at Calhoun and Moore. We know that the traffic patterns are going to change around there. Brookhaven and Woodlawn, Claxton Dairy and Woodlawn is an intersection that we see a lot of wrecks at. That's one of them. Also, Church and Moore. We feel like once Calhoun Street is closed off, there's going to be more traffic that's going on down Moore Street towards Church Street to get downtown. And you've probably been through that intersection 100 times, but Church Street is offset with Moore. It's not, the two Church Street approaches are not directly across from each other. So it's kind of awkward when you're opposing that other car on Church Street, who's going first. And so we want to do some improvements there, but we've got several intersections around the city that we're looking at and hopefully getting ahead of some problems that may occur in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. When should the red light go up at Springdale?
The materials, that's going to be the poles and the arms, and we use the word poles, and I think there was some confusion about that. People say, well, we can go down, Georgia Power's got some poles we can put up.
That's not how it works.
This is going to be the same type signal you see downtown, and the most recent one is the one at Hodges Street there at KFC. This is going to be the decorative green mast arms that those are not on the shelf anywhere. Those are special made when we order them. So we expect all that material to be in by the end of July, and the signal to be fully operational by the 1st of September.
And y'all have been doing some improvements. I know we've seen more electric out and about throughout the city. One being down here at Flash Foods, I think they were working on last week. What's going on there?
That is a contract with the Georgia Department of Transportation. The Department of Transportation maintains all the signals on state routes, and they're replacing hardware. They're replacing the heads, some of the wiring, and the signal controllers, just updating some equipment.
And finally, we're getting close at East Jackson, the Jackson Plaza down. July or August?
That's right. We're still on target for end of July, 1st of August.
It's looking good.
It is. There's more going on now than there ever has been down there, and it's really getting exciting.
Yeah, we have a beautiful downtown, and that's just going to improve it. And I see the curbs have went in, the parking there.
That's right.
And that's one of the biggest problems we have in downtown is parking.
It's a good problem to have,
It's
though.
a good problem. With GMC, I know you got a lot of those students downtown, and when we open up that Jackson Street Plaza back there, that'll give more parking there. And,
it will.
And looking at the blueprint, it's just absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It really is. I think people are going to be surprised at what all we're offering out there.
Yeah, well, good. Well, thank you, brother. Appreciate
Anytime.
you coming out here side the road.
Yes,
with me.
sir.
Usually we talk in City Hall
Yeah.
or the studio or something, but when Sergeant Scott was kind of scared to stand here by the road, and the reason is distracted driving. That's how we started this conversation. But folks, we're all serve this community together. We're all friends and neighbors. We go to church together, and some of them know us just based on the horn.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Matthew. But let's pay attention. Let's be cautious. Let's put those phones down, and when you stop side the road or to get gas, then pick up the phone and check your messages. But let's obey the law. You've heard Sergeant Scott. You've heard us talking about it. Please be careful. Arrive alive. Just be careful, okay? Thank you for joining us today right here on TV 35.